Okay, so today's DBT, we're in emotion regulation, and we are going to be talking about ABC, please. But to start us off on today's mindful exercise, I thought we'd play a word game. And the broad topic of the word game is recovery, okay? And let's say for recovery, I pop into my head the word breathing. Then you would have to give me a word that breathing ends in G, so your word would have to begin with G regarding recovery. So let's start, and the topic's recovery, and my word is breathing.
Ghost.
Ghost for recovery?
Great.
If we're dealing with recovery, what's a word of dealing with recovery that begins with G?
Generous.
Generous, okay. S.
That's a good one. God, I can't.
Support.
Support, yeah.
Okay.
T.
Uh-huh.
Teamwork.
Teamwork ends in K. Knowledge ends in E.
Energy.
Energy, good.
Ends in Y. Yoga.
Okay.
Yoga ends with A. What were we learning today? ABCs?
Recovery. Yeah, we'll be learning ABCs, yeah.
ABCs.
ABCs ends in C. C. Oh, coping ahead. Ends in D.
Dramatic.
Dramatic, okay. Ends in C.
Change.
Change, good.
Ends with E. Emotional regulation.
All right, okay, so that's all of us going around, and I like doing this exercise because one, I like this exercise because if you're stuck, there's not being hard on yourself or judging yourself for being stuck. You know, you're just comfortable with it. Second of all, it brings you to here now because you're listening for what the other person has to say, and so it's a good mindfulness activity. So thank you for your participation. What did you guys think of the activity?
I liked it. I was a little stumped, but yeah.
It woke up my brain.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was kind of asleep.
Okay. So it woke up your brain. What did you think of the activity?
Very fun.
You thought it was fun? Okay. So we haven't been in class for a while, so I'm not. The last topic we talked about in class, we had just left off on accumulate positives, build mastery, cope ahead, and then please, which is dealing with physical illness, exercise, avoid mood-altering drugs, sleep, and eating. So we'll be taking a very hard look at those today. So if you would open your books.
It's in the car.
Well, if you can either choose to go to the car or here's the handouts. So we'll be going over that today. So
What page is it?
it's motion regulation handout 14, Joe.
Okay.
We had this one in one of our Healing Through Arts classes.
Yes, and we did use it for healing through arts.
Handout 14.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be in the third tab, the third colored page.
Okay. Third color page.
Okay.
Okay.
It's way back on the back.
Keep going. Yeah.
See, I've got all these 6 at the top of my
Yeah, that's handout 6. Handout 6 is 10 pages long.
Oh, okay, thanks. I know you're, yep.
Okay, so for ABC, the A is accumulate positives. And there's short-term and long-term positives. And, you know, the short-term is to do pleasant things that are possible now. Long-term are making changes in your life so that positive events will happen more often in the future. Building a life worth living. The B for build mastery is do things that make you feel competent and effective to combat helpfulness and helplessness. And building mastery, you guys, isn't just accomplishing your end goal. Building mastery is all the baby steps, and yes, I'm taking baby steps, along the way to get to your end goal. So building mastery isn't just achieving your end goal, it's all the little steps along the way. Then there's cope ahead of time with emotional situations. And you would use cope ahead when you know you're going to be in an emotional situation, or like, let's say going to crowds isn't your thing. You would use cope ahead to deal with that beforehand. So that's something you deal with ahead of time. And please is treating physical illness, is getting proper exercise, avoiding mood-altering drugs, proper sleep, and proper eating. So that's just an overview of what we're going to go on. So if we turn the page, we got accumulating positive emotions short term. Who would like to read those boxes for me?
I will.
Okay, go ahead, Megan.
Build positive experiences now. Increase pleasant events that lead to positive emotions. Do one thing each day from the pleasant events list. Practice opposite action. Avoid avoiding. Be mindful of pleasant events. No multitasking.
Right. You can go on.
Be mindful of positive experiences. Focus your attention on positive moments when they are happening. No multitasking. Refocus your attention when your mind wanders to the negative. Participate and engage fully in each experience.
Right, and that's a very important box because it says when you find yourself multitasking, truly our bodies can't multitask, so what you need to do is stop, catch yourself multitasking, and then prioritize what is the most important thing to do. Like for example, you're on the phone and your TV's still going. Is it more important to have the conversation with the person you're on the phone with, or is it more important for you to look at the whatever may be on the news? So you have to prioritize. So you participate and engage fully in each experience. So in the third box, I'll read, be unmindful of worries, such as when the positive experience will end, whether you deserve this positive experience, and how much more might be expected of you now. So don't worry about these things. Like if you're having a positive experience and you don't want it to end, but everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So that's just a natural flow of things. And whether you deserve this experience or not, we're all deserving of positive experiences. They might not be comfortable for us because we're so used to not having them, but we're all deserving of it. So, so be unmindful of worries. Do we have any comments, suggestions on this page?
Well, I could have used that, be unmindful of worries yesterday. I was having a positive experience and I was focusing on, well, what does this mean, and when will this end, or is this appropriate, and then I didn't really enjoy what was going on completely, or I wasn't focused. So.
Right, because you're letting the worries take over.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when you gotta prioritize. That's when you gotta tell yourself the important thing is what's happening right now. You would have prioritized because you found yourself in conflict.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, easier said than done, obviously, but something you have to practice.
That's what I'm so used to doing, is just kind of like, well, what's going to happen? Yeah.
Right. So what being aware. That's the whole thing, is being aware of it so you can catch it to change it. Anybody else have anything to say? No? Then turn the page and we got a really cool handout. It's called the Pleasant Events List. And yes, it's a 3-page handout, but the cool part about it is it's 225 ideas. 225 ideas of pleasant events that you can do in your life. And I'm just going to pick out 3 that...
160 or something.
No, there's 3 pages. And I'm going to have each one of us just kind of look at it real quick and see what 3 jump out at them. First one that jumped out at me is doodling. Another one that jumped out at me is let's see here. Doodling. Oh, knitting, which would be for me crocheting. I need to start crocheting more again. And another pleasant activity would be learning to do something new. I'm always looking to do something new. I guess when I'm looking to do something new, I always think of, for here at work, it's always what new training can I do? What new project can I find for my art classes? So yeah, those are 3 things that jumped out at me from this list. What 3 things jump out at you, Steven?
Karate, judo, yoga, and then maybe doing something spontaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And then, let's see, reading magazines or newspapers.
Okay, those are 3 simple activities that you can do that are pleasant for yourself. Joseph?
Planning more of a career. Working on machinery, and then getting my computer system changed over.
Okay, so what machinery do you like to work on? What?
Working on a paper shredder now, putting it back together, and
Oh, okay.
trying to reconfigure it, and so actually I've got to create a 3D piece for that, and to help me put it back together. So,
Okay,
so
okay.
that's kind of what I'm talking about.
So you like taking things apart and putting them back together?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Megan, what 3 things from the pleasant event list kind of just caught your attention?
Doing arts and crafts, singing with groups. I put flirting and then I said haha.
Oh, hey,
Let's see. Jogging and walking. A lot of these I already do.
That's good.
Yeah, a lot of these that's the cool thing about this. A lot of this is stuff you might already do, or if you are bored, or if you want to do something new, this is a great list to go to try new things, or to go, oh, duh, I can do this. So this is a really cool handout, for things to do to change up your day, to change up your routine, to make more pleasant things happen in your life. Because the more pleasant things you do throughout the day or make habit, the more time you'll notice pleasant things occurring to you.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
So that's short-term pleasant. So then when we go to handout 17, We got, so there's short-term accumulate positive, and that's using the list. And then there's long-term. Okay? So when you accumulate positive emotions long-term, you're trying to build a life worth living. So this is a longer goal thing. And you want to make changes in your life so that positive events will happen in the future. Yeah. So who would like to start reading on this? Go, Steve.
Step 1, avoiding. Start now to do what is needed to build the life you want. If you're not sure about what to do, follow the steps below. Step 2, identify values.
No, we'll start. We'll stop. We'll talk about the first one. So avoid avoiding.
Procrastination.
Avoid procrastination. Yes, that'd be avoiding. Do what is needed now. Avoid active isolation. Avoid not thinking you're worthy. Avoid those things. So avoid your avoiding. And so once we start avoiding our avoiding, we'll go on to step 2. Stephen, if you want to read step 2.
Step 2, identify values that are important to you. Ask what values are really important to me in my life. Examples: be productive, be part of a group, treat others well, be physically fit.
Right.
Get rid of addictions.
Right. Getting rid of addictions would be what's important to you. That's a good one. Joseph, what's important to you?
Being productive and expressive, I guess, in terms of working on machinery and equipment, and just skills like sewing and doing artwork, landscape design, stuff like that. That's important.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
I need to hone those and build those.
Okay. What's important to you?
Authenticity, so expressing myself and getting in touch with what I'm feeling, and so that's usually like by writing or painting or drawing.
Right.
And interacting with friends and having discussions.
Right. Identify what values are important to me. I would say being social, keeping the contact with my friends. I'm important in the friendship too. I have to give to it, just not them giving to me. And things important in my life are keeping my symptoms in check so that my interactions are valid. My interactions are good. Yeah, so that's what's important to me. So step 3. Who would like to read that? Joseph?
Okay, identify one value to work on now. Ask, what is really important to me right now to work on in my life? Example, be productive. Yeah.
Right. So next step would be to what you want to work on now. So that would be step 3. And we got a worksheet coming up and we'll do that. Identify a few goals related to this value. So 4 would be identify goals. And identify goals is kind of like coping ahead. Coping ahead. What are you going to do to plan to make this happen? So identify goals. Megan, box 5.
Choose one goal to work on now.
Right. So, if GOAL.
Reduce carbs late at night.
Right. That would be a goal to that would be a goal to work on now. Reduce carbs late at night. That could be your goal. And that could be the goal you choose. And then step 6 is to identify small steps.
Gradually reduce the carbs.
Right.
Go
To
from 60 to 50 to 40 to 30, and then stop at 30.
right. So setting a number, you know, you might average 60 carbs, and you want to reduce that to 45 and go from 45 to 30. So that would be taking small steps to achieve your goal.
Yeah.
7, take one action step now. So out of all those steps you provided, and identifying these small steps is kind of like brainstorming. You're brainstorming all these ideas to help you get to your goal. So 7 is choosing the step. Okay. So we'll start with Stephen. Avoiding. So Stephen wants to avoid avoiding too many carbs in his life. Identify value.
Get rid of addictions.
Getting rid of addictions, healthy eating,
Yeah.
improve your lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, so those are all values that fall under there. Identify one value to work on. You said avoiding addiction, so I'm assuming you're seeing carbs as an addiction.
It's one of them.
Okay. Identifying goals. You said to get down to 30.
Yeah.
So 30. So your goal would be 30 carbs a day, a night, or
30 grams of carbs for a late night snack.
okay, 30 grams for late night snack. Choose one goal. That is your goal.
Yeah.
Now, what small steps would you use to get there?
Gradually decrease it from 60 to 50 to 40 to 30.
Just like so look at the carbs and gradually decrease,
Yeah.
and then you know that would be choosing your step to get you there. So that's one example of how you to accumulate positive emotions long term. If you turn the page, we got values and priorities list. And I want you guys to take about 5 minutes with it, look over it, and because there's like 14 things, 14 different values to look at, and check what's important to you. On the values and priorities list, we have attend to relationships. Do you want to repair old relationships, reach out for new relationships, work on current relationships, or even ending destructive relationships? You know, be a part of a group. Everybody wants to feel needed. Have close and satisfying relationships with others. Feel a sense of belonging. Receive affection and love. Be involved and intimate with others. Have and keep close friends. Have a family. Stay close to and spend time with family members. Have people to do things with. You know, so being part of a group, what would you want to do to help make that happen?
First one.
Be powerful and able to influence others. Have the authority to approve or disapprove.
That's why I'm trying to be assertive with my car.
Okay, you're trying to be assertive. Have a power and authority to approve or disapprove what people do, and how to use and how resources are used. Be a leader. Make a great deal of money. Be respected by others. Be seen by others as successful. Become well known. Obtain recognition and status. Compete successfully with others. And be popular and accepted.
I would compete successfully with others and have the authority to approve or disapprove what people do, or to control how resources are used.
You're questioning how those can be, to compete successfully with others. Competition is a healthy thing. It's not necessarily winning and losing. Like just for example, let's take the game Jenga.
Yeah.
you know,
Which
there's
I have now.
there's a competition in there, and it's not it's not the healthy or losing, but it's the competition of everybody building the tower top. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a healthy competition. So it's not win or lose necessarily. If there's a competition, think of competition in a broader.
When I think of competition in terms of like combat or just sparring with people, I don't necessarily want to win, but I just want to be in there having fun. Because
You want the experience
I want
of
the experience. It's empowering. Yeah.
the experience of using your skills, the experience of improving your skills.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah,
not like
so-
I have to win.
Yeah,
It's
competition doesn't have to be win or lose. Yeah.
and that's what you're saying, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Another one of the values is to have integrity, and you might want to work on being honest and standing up for your personal beliefs. Be a responsible person, keeping my word to others. Be courageous in living life. Be a person who pays their
Last
debts.
one.
Yeah, who pays their debts and others, and repairs the damage I have caused. Another way of having integrity is to be accepting of myself, others, and life as it is without resentment.
Yeah, that's
You know, so
important.
being more mindful is a great way to keep your integrity in check. Joseph, out of this worksheet, name one that you chose to work on, that you would like to work on,
Out of all
sparks with you.
A through O,
Yeah, what sparks, which one sparked your,
learn and do challenging things that help me grow and mature as a human being.
which one?
M,
Oh.
53.
Okay, work at self-development?
Yeah.
Okay, develop a personal philosophy of life?
No, learn, well, that's important too. but
Right.
Learn and do challenging things that help me grow and mature as a human being.
Okay, so things to learn you help and grow as a human being. What would be one thing you could, well, give me a choice, or choose one goal, or many goals.
Get that computer system, operating system changed over.
Okay.
Get that yeah, that would be the thing. Okay, identify small steps to get.
Yeah, what are the small steps? Give me more than one step. What small steps would you have to take
Okay, so what I have to do is research how to wipe the data off my existing computer successfully, how to save the files again. I mean, I know how to save the files. I don't need to research that. Save the files to a flash drive, wipe out the other data on the computer, research how to download the new system onto the computer, and that's about it.
Okay, so you know, and if you need to, write those steps down for yourself so you can keep them in logical order.
Yeah.
You know, you know, do what you need to do to make, and realize as you check one thing off your list, you've done a research, hey, that's one thing off the list.
Yeah.
You know, and you can see your progress as you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Megan, was there one of these that sparked with you?
Does it matter what page?
No, it doesn't matter which
I
one.
did not see these other ones. Okay, so I guess, let's see, be a part of a group was one of the ones I picked.
Okay.
And I picked all of them, and then also had other, which is be part of some kind of group, like a book club or volunteering or conservation, hiking, rec sports, and then meet up on like a weekly or bi-weekly basis.
Okay. So, and in using the how to do the long term, because this is building long term positive.
Okay.
So out of all those that being part of a group, which one spoke to you the most?
Be involved and intimate with others, have and keep close friends.
Okay, so that's your one. That's your one value to work on.
Okay.
And do you have a goal for that? What would be your end goal?
To remember things about family members that like are important, like their birthdays, and keep up with them and make sure they don't go forgotten.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, and then brainstorm. Identify small steps to get to that goal.
Okay.
We can help her brainstorm, or she can brainstorm.
Brainstorm how to do that, right?
Right, like do you have to make a list of people's birthdays?
I've started. My dad's in sales, so one of the important things is that he keeps notes on each of his clients. And he even does this with friends, and he's like, oh, they got an award. So next time he talks to him, he's like, congrats on that award, by the way. And oh, it's your wife's birthday? Like,
right.
Happy birthday.
My dad had a birthday list of his
Okay.
friends, so he always knew who to send his birthday cards to.
Yeah.
So have a list with the 12 months on it, and
Okay.
what would be another thing you could do? Well, even before you get to the list, are you comfortable asking somebody when their birthday is?
Mm.
Do you have to work up to doing the social interaction?
Oh, right. Do you feel comfortable, or do you feel like you have to work?
Yeah, would you feel
Okay.
comfortable just saying, "Hey, Mary, when's your birthday?"
Right,
Yeah.
right. And you'd feel like, if you're like, why? Then
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
like,
why? Yeah. I probably wouldn't come back like that. I'd probably just tell you when my birthday is, but.
But if you weren't like that,
Right.
would you have to like work on that, or like what?
If somebody came back with you with a why, or they're not comfortable, you might, you can come back with why. I just like to make a list so I can acknowledge. But no, let them know what your goal is with it. That's part of good communication.
Okay.
And but yeah, let's see here. What else would be a brainstorm for that? Or if you brainstorming can be just carrying your calendar with you. Like I have a small calendar that stays in my purse, so I could ask somebody and then put it on my purse that way. That would be another brainstorm.
Yeah, you could ask somebody that knows them and see to get their birthday information a little bit better, and then
Right. Or
Doesn't
like
that seem sketchy?
well, let's say you don't
if
know.
they know him well, but yeah, it depends
say
on how well you know.
Okay.
them.
Well, let's say you
Okay.
don't know your cousin's birthday. It's okay to ask your auntie for their children's birthday.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you want to know a certain set, like if I wanted to know a certain set of cousin's birthday, I would call my Uncle Bob up and get his children's birthday from Uncle Bob.
Okay.
Because he would be able to give me all 5 children versus having to contact 5 individuals.
Okay.
Let's see here, what else? But yeah, so you see how using the ABC long-term,
Yeah.
it can be a value for you
Oh,
going
for sure.
through, what is your goal? What goals do I want to work on it? And the thing is, each step you guys would make toward that goal, like Joe, doing your research.
Yeah.
That's a baby step toward the mastery.
Yeah.
Congratulate yourself for that. That's huge. Make sure you guys are giving yourself the credit for your achievements. So that's how you would use your values to give yourselves more positive experience in your life.
Mm-hmm.
And because the more positivity you bring into your life, and you're aware of it, the more that's going to happen naturally. By being aware that you bring it into your life, you're going to make it happen naturally. And like that list of 200 some odd things, look at it, because you might not be aware that you're bringing pleasant experiences into your life? I can't remember which one of you said, I do a lot of these things. Yes, you do.
No, that was me.
Okay, yes, you do. Look at it and give yourself credit for bringing positive
Yeah,
experiences
especially
into
when
your
you're
life.
so hard on yourself and then it's like, oh, I'm good at these things.
Right, right. You know, you do give yourself time for positive experiences, and you can congratulate yourself for those positive experiences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so this book is just a wonderful book, and I do go to it sometime because I will get my worst critic. I will get down on myself. I will, and if I look at that, well, yeah, when I go to the grocery store, I do stop and look at the flowers in the floral section, and I do that just for me. You know, that's a positive that I do just for me, and I don't want it to become a habit that I forget that it's a pleasant experience. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm in a bad mood, I might not even register that I did it. You know, so look at the list to see what you have done as a positive experience. So, you know, it's just not ideas to do, but also ideas to say, hey, I am doing better than I thought. So, the next worksheet, handout 19, and I'll probably be, we'll finish up, we're doing good, is build mastery and cope ahead. So, with build mastery, it says who wants to read the box? You guys read the box while I'm erasing.
Build
Okay.
mastery. Well, plan on doing at least one thing each day to build a sense of accomplishment. Example, work out if it works. 2, plan for success, not failure. Do something difficult but possible. Maybe reading a complicated philosophy book. Gradually increase the difficulty over time. If the first text is too difficult, do something a little easier next time. Maybe stick with easier books and work up to more difficult books.
Right.
Look for a challenge. If the task is too easy, try something a little harder next time. Well, if the book is too easy, maybe I can try to move on a little bit to one that's a little more difficult.
Right, and if the book's too easy, it's still a good learning experience.
It's still a good book, actually.
Right, it doesn't change it not being a good book, but you just want to go on to something more challenging next time.
Yeah.
So, build mastery. It says to do at least one thing a day to build a sense of accomplishment. What's one thing today I can do to build mastery? For me, it would have been getting my materials together and how I'm going to present and what group activities I wanted to do. That was my sense for helping build mastery today. What one thing do you want to do to build mastery today?
One thing I want to do to build mastery today, recently I've been going back into my cycle of like being hard on myself. So I guess, and getting in my head.
Okay.
So I guess to build mastery on coping. These are coping skills.
No, you
journaling.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So today you want to do a journal entry.
Yeah. And sometimes I like have big discussions in my head, like, no, you don't have time for that big, like that journal entry. And
the journal, now here's the thing is, like you said, it doesn't have to be a big journal entry.
Yeah.
It can be an itty bitty. It can be 3 sentences.
Yeah.
It can, it can be as simple as 3 things I'm grateful for today.
Okay.
And you journal down 3 things you're grateful for today. It doesn't have to be this dissertation. Just remember, and maybe you want to work up to a dissertation. But the fact that you start with an itty bitty, 3 things I'm grateful for today.
Yeah.
And and then maybe tomorrow to make that bigger, 3 things I'm grateful for today, and then write a sentence about each one of those things you're grateful for.
Okay.
Just build on it. Build mastery. So plan for, and that's the important part. When you're building mastery, you're doing something that you can do that can be successful.
Okay.
It's going to be achievable. It's important that when you're building mastery, you do something that's achievable. And, you know, small steps equal success. You know, those small steps equal as much success as the end goal of getting there.
Yeah.
So celebrate those baby steps on the way. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm writing this all down.
I'll take you, well, if you want me to repeat something, that's fine too. But, yeah, what's something you want to build mastery on today, Joe?
Just letting go of control about, you know, situations and events and.
Things you can control versus things you can't control?
Yeah, and quit trying to manage what, you know, people think about me or whatever, and just kind of letting go of that and
Right.
not worrying about it. Or at least, you know, think that it's.
So for
Be
you,
open-minded.
you want to
about
let
it,
go.
just
You want to let go.
of, yeah.
Okay, so your focus today would be letting go of those behaviors.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good one. And the thing is, you're going to meet a lot of people today. You might do it with a few people, not all the people.
Yeah,
You know,
it doesn't have to be perfect.
be
Doesn't have to
glad for the few people you accomplish that with, and then gradually increase the number. You know, there's your building steps. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's important.
Okay, Steve, what do you want to master today?
Today I want to eat only 30 grams of carbohydrates late at night.
Okay, and
Feel you on that.
is that possible today?
Yep.
Okay. What do you think your 30 grams will be?
Probably a bag of Doritos from the vending machine.
It's a bag of Doritos, 30 or less.
It's 31 grams of carbs.
Okay. Okay, so you've done some research onto this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and if the challenge is too easy, you know, you would have to, you know, make it something that's more challenging for yourself. But, so that's building mastery. Any questions on building mastery? Taking an in-depth view on it?
No, just looking for a challenge, or I thought it was important to, well, and the competitiveness idea is important because we're just competitive and just putting my ideas and what I say out there, and don't worry about what anybody thinks about it. I mean, sure, we all care, but I mean, you know what I mean, not just kind of like people can think what they want to think.
Right, they're allowed to think what they want to think.
And it doesn't necessarily, you know, my brain will say, oh, God, it's something bad.
What
they're
they
thinking.
think doesn't reflect on you.
No, it doesn't, and I can't worry about it. It's not worth. It's a waste of time, and you know you can't control what anybody.
Right, you can't control my thoughts. You can't control my reactions.
Yeah.
You know, and my reactions aren't a reflection on you.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's reactions are a reflection.
That's
You know,
true.
so then we'll go to cope ahead. And cope ahead. Cope ahead is something you use when you know you're going into a emotional situation. You know, and for me, I frequently used cope ahead in my life. My father was a toxic person in my life. We worked through it. We got, you know, we made it manageable. It went from not seeing him sometimes to making it work. When I did have to see him, I was his caretaker in the end. And that didn't change him from being non-toxic, but it changed how I would deal with it. So, you know, coping ahead, I knew these were going to be emotionally trying times for me. And I didn't want the toxic comment to trigger my emotional button. You know, so for me, to get to my dad's house was a 35-minute drive. Wonderful time to cope ahead. You know, and when you cope ahead, you think of how you're going to handle it, then you put yourself in the situation as much as you can, so you can hear yourself and how you deal with it. And then, so you rehearse in your mind effectively. And then, of course, after I did that, I would practice relaxation after my rehearsing, just so I wouldn't be caught up in it. You know, so that's how you're going to cope ahead. You know, there's describe the situation. You know, is likely to prompt the problem behavior. Check the facts. Remember, the facts are the who, what, when, and where. You didn't hear me say why and how, because why and how is subjective. The facts are the who, what, when, and where. Decide what coping or problem-solving skills you want to use in the situation. Be specific. Write out in detail how you will cope with the situation and with your emotions and action urges. You know, imagine the situation in your mind as vividly as possible, step 3, and not watching the situation. So rehearse in your mind coping effectively. Rehearse in your mind exactly what you can do to cope effectively. Rehearse your actions, your thoughts, what you say, how you say it. Rehearse coping effectively with new problems that come up. Rehearse coping effectively with your most feared catastrophes. You know, different reasons to use cope ahead. And then step 5, practice relaxation after rehearsing. So do we have any questions or thoughts about cope ahead? One thing I will say about cope ahead, if you use it ahead of time, use your book or use your resources to know which skills you're using. You know, it's you know, so go ahead and you know, if you don't know, you know, research what skills you want to use. You know, go through your DBT book and say, I'm going to use my mindfulness, this specific mindfulness skill. You know, I'm going to be I'm going to observe, and I'm going to fully participate, you know, in the event. You know, so what skills do you want to use? 2, you know, put yourself in the situation. Now, don't put yourself into the situation so much as to trigger yourself or to shut yourself down, but put yourself into the situation as effectively as you can. And then 3, relaxing. Relaxing after you've done the exercise. You know, if you have to take 3 deep breaths, take your 3 deep breaths. You know, so that when you get to the situation, you're being the most effective you can be. So those are the things to keep in mind for cope ahead. Okay, and we'll turn the page real quick. And we got please. Then we'll go over please real quick. And the PL in please is to take care of your body, see a doctor when necessary, take your prescribed medications. The E, balance eating. Don't eat too much, too little. Eat regularly and mindfully throughout the day. Stay away from foods that make you feel overly emotional. You know, you might want to avoid the caffeine after 3 p.m. because it's going to keep you awake at night. You know, or if you're from one of these people who eating a certain amount of sugar is going to make you hyper, you know, you want to be aware of that. A, avoid mood-altering substances. Stay off illicit drugs and use alcohol in moderation. Mood-altering substances can be so many different things. It can be caffeine, it can be nicotine, it can be, technically it can be sugar. You know, anything that's going to alter your mood. You know, stay off or moderate. The S in please, balance sleep. Try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night, or at least the amount that helps you feel good. keep a consistent sleep schedule, especially if you have difficulty sleeping. And this is really important. I am a person who has trouble with sleep. And for me, I take my sleep meds at 9 o'clock. Whether I go to bed at 10:30 or go to bed at 1:30, I still take my meds at 9 o'clock. Because that's the consistent part. I have a consistent sleep routine. I do breathing and relaxation exercises to help me get to sleep. You know, and you gotta be consistent with it to make it part of your normal routine. I've done it for so long that it is part of my normal routine. I don't have to sit there and think in my head, okay, now time to do my relaxation. No, it's just part of my sleeping routine. Yeah. And then E, get exercise. Do some exercise every day. Try to build up 20 minutes of daily exercise. And taking a walk. We got the gym downstairs. Cleaning, mowing, just activities that have you moving, aerobic, or count towards exercise if you have a hard time getting exercise. So, any comments on please? No? Okay. So, that was today's class. And what I want to do next is go around and tell me what you got out of today's class. Whoever wants to start.
Maybe be more assertive.
Help you be more assertive?
Fair with people, but assertive.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm glad it helped you with your assertiveness. Okay.
Create a goal, but start small.
Okay.
To work towards it.
Okay, good.
I need to use the cope ahead skill, I think, coming up soon. So that could be really helpful for what I'm dealing with.
Okay, yeah, so take the time to sit down and do your cope ahead. And if
Yeah.
you have to write it, rehearse it.
Writing always helps.
Yeah.
Rehearsing in my mind too really helps as well.
Okay, okay. So, cope ahead's a wonderful skill. I guess what today's class helped remind me of is because we got the list of positive activities. There are a lot of lists in the DBT book. It talks about all the different emotions, and so I guess how thankful I am to have this my resource at all times.
Yeah.